Boing. Hello. Welcome. Whitney, thank you for joining us.
Wow, thank you for having me.
We haven't started yet. This is just the live stream. See, it's over there. You can see it's
snap.
right over
We
there.
can get super distracted by seeing
There
ourselves
you
over
go.
there.
You're welcome. I usually hit pause, but I forgot it. And the computer's way over there, so I'm not going to go
there
get
it is.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you, Julie, David, and Droopy B Dog for joining us. Whitney, I'm excited to talk about Halloween stuff.
Me too.
This is your Christmas.
I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
We're going to be talking about traditions, and you guys hit us up on Discord with all your favorite traditions. And Maggie, I'm glad you're doing Rocky Horror Picture Show because we got some friends doing that too, and it seems like you're having a blast. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Right there.
Yeah.
Too, so.
But we'll let's kick it off. Let's do the main episode. You ready, DJ?
Yes. 3, 2, 1.
There, boys and girls.
I feel like you should have done it creepy.
One
What's
more
the
time.
creepy version of that?
Copywritten.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
yeah,
that.
we're not gonna
dinged so quick.
What about? No, that's creepy. That's creepy that's creepy in all the wrong ways.
There
That's
you
creepy
go.
in all the wrong ways. Whitney's got us. Whitney's got us.
That's
This
good.
is my wheelhouse.
Super
Yeah.
solid. Droopy B Dog's excited you're here. Whitney Moore, thank you for joining us for our
thank
spooky
you.
sode.
I am sure happy to be here. I love talking about spooky stuff all year round, and this is the time where I don't annoy my friends by talking about it.
There you go. That's Comic Con for us, and of course this is for me. But yeah, it's the first time coming on the episode on the show this is
Yeah.
your first
Oh,
This is my
episode.
first. Happy first episode, everybody.
To
Listen,
everyone.
everyone out there, happy first episode.
But guys, welcome to Only Stupid Answers, the best dang podcast you can put your moist little ears into. We talk about movies,
TV shows?
comic books,
Yes.
supernatural. Ish, sometimes, probably today.
Not the show Supernatural, by the way.
No, I
you
tried.
Can stop. You can stop tweeting us about that.
We're never going to talk about it.
It's too late.
14
that
seasons.
That ship has sailed.
That train's on a different continent now. We can't keep up with it at all. But today we're having a very special spooky episode where we're going to be talking about all of your Halloween traditions and all of our favorite Halloween movies. Basically, all Halloween, all the time.
Halloween.
Halloween.
But up top, we like to just do a little bit of business.
Yeah.
Where you guys can find all
little
the
bit of
info.
business time.
There you go. Everyone's favorite
Yeah.
is the business. You can go to onlystupidanswers.com to find all the places to listen to us, like iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, which is a thing now.
Yeah, and more.
And more. And also our social media, like Twitter, at Only Stupid Answers.
You got the bells from Stupid.
You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Reddit. But the best community is Discord, which you can find over at patreon.com/
Only Stupid Answers. Also, you'd be watching this live if you were on Patreon.
Yes.
You'd be watching this video live.
You could see my armpit hair, which I didn't know was going to come out. I thought it was just going to be
Listen,
pit
this
stains.
show is full of surprises.
And it's usually me who's surprised. But also up top, we like to read a few iTunes reviews because that's
Yes.
actually how the show keeps going. Patreon helps. The ads we get help, and
Yes.
your guys' support helps. But also, when you guys write reviews, that makes our podcast go up higher in the charts. That's how it works.
And by the way, we read all of them. We read all of them, and it's just we like to read them to you sometimes.
Would you like to? I'll intro you. You want to read the first one?
Yeah.
This is from Ham Lunch Meat. You guys just jiggle my Jimmy.
We're Jimmy jigglers. Make sure you get permission before you jiggle anybody's jimmies. I love the wide variety of topics that you guys cover. I love the passion you have for what you talk about. I love all of Sam's dumb jokes, but mostly I appreciate that you two have different opinions. It's not a yes game. It's DJ and Sam discussing their different perspectives and takeaways and having a great conversation. Listening to you guys makes driving hundreds of cars through a car wash at a car dealership a lot more bearable and fun. You guys rock. 2 exclamation
That
points.
sounds like a fun job.
Thank you.
I'd
You
get
could-
in there.
Yeah.
I'd go through the car and get myself a shower.
I would take one little coin out of like the pile of coins that you have in there. Everyone has a little loose change. I would take one, just one penny.
You're a thief?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit. Gotta be okay with that one. Just a
Yeah,
penny.
he just wants the. But would the good place be okay with it?
Ooh, no, that show's so good. We have another one from Kendra D, the community I never knew I needed. Here we go. Sam and DJ have not only created a lovely, well-run, informative, and funny podcast jam-packed with all the best of nerd culture that you could ask for, but they've also made an amazing community. As a member of the Patreon from the near beginning, and even more now with their Twitch streams, username Ken Thora. Oh, hi! Hi, I recognize you now. I have the awesome opportunity to connect with others who have the same interests. Thank you guys for making my days a little bit brighter. Much nerdy love, Kendra Davis. Thank you, Kendra.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
guys for all that stuff. We appreciate your 5-star reviews. But now that we've done that, Whitney,
Hello.
tell us why you like our podcast so much.
And what would you rate
I'm
it?
surprised that you guys did not read my review that I left. 1 star. Not enough naked butts on the podcast.
We're working on it.
Please
We're
try
working
to work
on
on
it.
that.
The
Yeah.
mics don't
Thank
pick them
you
up
very
that
much.
well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I may have to rescind my Patreon subscription.
We'll work on those
Not
naked
enough
butts.
nudes.
Yeah. You know, there are a lot of successful Patreons with nudes in them.
Yes.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Cosplay nudes.
Yeah.
Cosplay.
Something to
guys
think
should
about,
do that.
Sam.
Come on.
Cosplay nudes, my dudes.
Yeah.
That's what that'll be the tier.
My dude nude. Nude dudes. Nude
Yeah.
dudes.
New dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pitch it around.
Yeah, we'll
see if
figure
we
it out.
can
We'll
figure
workshop it.
out.
Whitney will help us after the episode.
I'd buy it.
Thank you. But let's get into what we're into this week. This is when we talk about all the just random garbage that we're into. It could be a TV show. It could be a movie. It could be your pet.
Yeah.
What are you into this week? Let's kick it off with DJ, so you have some time to think about it.
Well, first off, what are the stuff I'm into that we haven't talked about already? I got to see Suspiria, which you can see the review for that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/onlystupid-answers. We caught up with Daredevil, which you can see us talking about that on Patreon. And that's basically been my entire damn week.
Yeah.
I got to go to a friend's wedding, which was lovely.
Nice.
That's basically it.
Nice.
That's basically the gist of it.
I went camping for the very first
Nice.
time. That was so
Wow.
cool.
Where'd you go?
Big Sur. So
Beautiful.
I drove up. We had to stop off and look at elephant seals, and they're real.
Oh, they're
real
so funny
weird.
looking. They're so- and they make the weirdest noises.
And like it's so cute whenever they throw sand on themselves. It's just like a little flip.
And cute.
And like there was one that the smartest one of the bunch. He made like a little dirt pile to block the wind in front of his face, and he just slept there for hours. He's having a great time.
Smart guy.
What a smart boy.
Big Sur has a purple sand beach called Pfeiffer Beach.
Really?
And you can go there. That's about halfway to NorCal where I live.
Nice.
And you can go there and look at the purple sand if you want.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Why is it purple?
Just the rocks.
Toxins.
Toxins.
You know, there's a plant
Sludge.
right by there. Yeah, it's sludge, but it looks really nice.
It's Johnson & Johnson sludge.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? We want those flushable wipes. So
Exactly.
there's a trade there. But I got to do some. It was cool. The campsite I went to had both beach camping and like woods camping, like redwoods. And it was cool how like you turn one way and that was a beach. Like it felt like a beach. It was like 90 degrees outside. But if you turned down this little like pathway, there was a little creek and there were trees and like the temperature dropped like 20 degrees. So like you got to like bundle up and wear your flannel because in camping you had to.
Big Sur's so pretty.
We had a percolator. We made some coffee in the morning. We played plenty of drinking games, which was the best. We had such a good time.
That sounds so fun.
It was really nice. The drive was longer than I thought it was going. It felt long, but when we got there, it was cool. There was no service. I was nervous about turning my phone back on, but I'm glad I didn't like have it. I wasn't looking at anything. I was able to engage, and it was a nice little refresh until I came back and everything was a little bit on fire. But
You didn't get spooked that you didn't have any cell service and you were in the woods.
I was a little nervous, but there was a nice couple who runs the campsite, and they could have helped us out. They were really cool.
Okay.
They lived in a little camper that was right there, and it was this cute little adorable family. They were really nice. They were really cool, but they could have like stolen our identities. Who knows?
Yeah, who's to say? Now, Whitney, before you dive into what you're into, for the kids at home, who are you? What do you do? Where can they find you?
My name is certainly Whitney Moore, and I don't know why I said certainly.
Humble brag.
Like,
It is certainly Whitney Moore.
like if that was somebody questioned. Like, it's definitely Whitney Moore. I know Sam and DJ from my SourceFed days over at that SourceFed Nerd, RIP. And you can find me doing internet stuff over at Geek and Sundry. I play a very, very fun tabletop RPG game that is very, very silly on Wednesday nights on twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry. I am also on a daily talk show about DC Comics. And it's at DC Universe. And then I also do a horror show with Bloody Disgusting. It's a great time. I shoot it with my fiance in our apartment.
That's
Very
so cool.
It's nice.
How's DC? That sounds really cool because we were checking out Titans, and I see you pop up right there.
Yeah, I will say our fans have a little bit of interest in stuff like that.
You know, it's such a fun job because, full disclosure, I have always been more interested in sort of the weird art comics, and I kind of fell off of DC for a little New 52. I fell off a little bit, and now I'm getting back into it, and I have a reason to, because I have to, read all these comics to bring to discuss on the panel for work. And boy, there's some good stuff out there right now. Cursed Comics Cavalcade, I will.
That was a lot of fun.
It's
yeah,
super super fun. They're doing weird shit.
Yeah,
and it's great. We watch Titans and stay up on that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the majority of what I've been doing lately.
Nice. You get to work with a lot of fun friends of the podcast.
Yeah.
It looks like you're having a good time. Also, the set's awesome, and John Barrowman was there for a second, and I bet he smells cool.
He has been on a couple episodes, and he is a delight. Last time he was here, he brought his toy collection.
Oh,
and
wow.
he has all these crazy figures from like the 50s and 60s, and so it's really really cool.
Nice. But what are you into this week?
This week I got into a lot of cool spooky stuff. I finally watched Mandy, which is it's so funny because I've been dying to see it in the theater, but because I am a big metalhead, so is Jesse, my guy, and Mandy is very much the aesthetic of something that I would wish that I lived in all the time.
you guys can't hear our nods, but Sam and I are not.
Yes.
And as a result of that, we had a lot of friends be like, wait to watch Mandy with me. And so we had a couple friends, like I never got to see it in the theaters because I was trying to like plan it with all these people who wanted to be in the room to watch me watch it.
Yeah, that can be challenging.
So finally,
coordination of that stuff can be a chore.
Yeah, finally we just watched it, and oh boy, a jar of acid. What's not to love? I tell you.
We got to see it at what was it? LA Live, the Regal LA Live.
Ooh,
because Legion M, I had like worked with them a little bit, and they're one of the distributors for the movie, and it's Panos Cosmatos. Yeah, he did an interview with it, and it was insane. Like, it was so, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And by the end of the movie, we were like, I don't even think we did a full episode on it because not enough of people are going to be able to see this movie or even be interested. Like,
Rent
being
it.
honest,
it is so so good. It's actually probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time now.
Yeah, it's really good. It's so
melts
freaking
your
good.
goddamn brain.
Yeah.
If we got any LA locals, I did a fun thing in LA this past Sunday night because I went to a place called Boney Island.
What is
Nice.
And if you live in LA, you might know about the Griffith Park Haunted Hayride.
Yes.
Which they do a hayride through all these like weird sort of tableaus that they set up, and it's silly and spooky and fun.
Yeehaw.
And then I guess it's nearby there. Griffith Park is huge, and I also didn't realize they do like a train ride that's supposed to be really spooky and cool. But Boney Island is by far the most family friendly one. It's like Coney Island, but it's all these like skeletons set up and doing like they're like throwing knives at each other, and like it takes about 30 minutes to get through the whole thing, and it's very cute and very silly, and just a good wholesome Halloween time.
Nice.
I'm bummed. As a little bit of a transition to like Halloween traditions, every year I've been able to go to at least one theme park's haunted thing. Like Universal's the big one, but like if you like standing in lines, you're gonna love Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
I had a big old fiasco this year with Steve Zaragoza trying to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
What happened?
Can you share? Share with the class.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind. So he went as like to like shoot some content for some guy, and ended up it was like totally lame, and they were like he like didn't really get to go on any rides. So Universal sent him a bunch of tickets as an apology, and they were like, you can finish shooting your content. And Steve called me up and he's like, hey, I got a free ticket to Horror Nights for you. And those are expensive as hell, and so I don't usually go to them. But this year I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So we went, and it was a bunch of people, and it turns out that they accidentally gave tickets to the day park. And Halloween Horror Nights is a separate ticket that you have to buy. So we just ended up going over to his
for
house.
real? Like they really did that?
They goofed it again. They goofed it twice. Poor Steve. But then we just ended up going, and we played the new Jackbox, which is so fun.
Jackbox 5. Wait,
my
did you
God.
play the game? Names escape me for basically Fibbage and anything else I don't remember. But there's one game where you like have to build a thing and you have to pitch it.
Yeah, it's the PowerPoint one. It's my favorite. We were up till like 2 a.m. playing it. It was so. My favorite one was the problem that I got was that my panties are too dry all the time, and I'm sorry, is this a G-rated podcast?
Oh, no,
it is
go
not.
for it.
It's
It's fine.
it was like my panties are too dry and I can't impress my friends with my dry panties or something. And so the invention that I came up with was slug reservoirs. It was like a garter strap that holds slugs in them.
Hey, listen. Whatever gets the job done, you know what I'm saying?
I really want to play it. Hopefully I can play it this Sunday.
It's great. The rap battle one's great too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool! I am getting extremely nervous when it comes to rapping.
That one's really, really fun because it's low stakes too, and they have like a robot voice read it, and so it's very, very silly.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We did a 12-hour live stream here because we record with the Life Noggin offices. For Play Noggin, which is their Sunday Twitch show, we did a 12-hour stream to like fund for the month, which was really fun. And they wanted to do a country song improv. It was, I'll be honest, real bad. And then someone who was extremely talented turned it into like this like ballad, and I was like, Thank you for the talented musicians out there.
Do you get a lot of country fans on your?
Not that we know of. We do have a lot of people from Texas.
Yeah,
not to throw them under a bus.
Yeah, we do love a good yeehaw.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeehaw,
going to
my
be
dudes.
in Texas at the beginning of next month.
What are you doing?
I am shooting a small part in a movie called Satanic Panic.
Wait, was there like a press release for that?
There was a press release for it.
Nice. That's so cool.
It's funny. I hope they won't mind me saying this, but I actually auditioned for the lead and I didn't get it. I like did really nothing short of stalking them, and I was like, let me fucking audition for this.
Yeah.
And they did, and I didn't get it, but then they emailed me and they were like, do you want to just like come out and like do a fun cameo? And I was like, yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. I mean, I'm glad that you get to be a part. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's gonna be kind of a rough shoot. I've shot many horror movies before, and I know that they're low budget horror movies, especially when there's blood involved. It's always like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of night shoots, so it's gonna be kind of grueling. I'm only there for 3 days, but yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a really fucking cool movie. The script is phenomenal. I'm so excited that I get to just show up in it.
That's dope.
So yeah, look out in the next year or so when that comes out, and you might see a familiar face.
Hey, who knows? It might be a Fantastic Fest when we're there next year.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Definitely a Fantastic Fest type of movie.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I think that's actually one of the goals, and I really want to go again next year because I've been missing it.
No, you need to go because this year we got to see. Speaking of blood, there was our favorite movie. We talked about it so much last episode, but it's out on Netflix now. The Night Comes for Us. We're actually having a review that comes on our YouTube soon. It's from like the team behind Headshot and The Raid, and it's like it's super cool
super
martial
violent.
arts and super like it's violent. It's just blood just everywhere. Just every actor is just drenched 24/7. They probably shot that over like 8 or 3 months or something like that. 8 months, 3 months, and they were just covered in blood the whole time.
I watched a spooky Fantastic Fest horror movie at Steve's called Cam.
Yeah, I actually caught that in the festival. So did I.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, about halfway through, I'm like, there's no ending of this movie that can possibly be good. There's no way to resolve the problem's so interesting that there's no way to resolve it. And then they did. They found a really good way to resolve it.
What a cool scene. That's one of the movies that I see that I maybe don't want to see again because I know that if I start to overthink it, there's a lot of holes that can be poked into it, but it's so fun. It's what's that actress's name? She's the lead in Handmaid's Tale. Which I haven't watched because it's too real for me.
Yeah, my wife watches it, and I feel like that's my household doing its part. And so I don't, because it looks like it would bum me out.
Yeah, I don't want to get bummed out. I don't want to get scared.
Is Cam out on? Did you watch it on Netflix? Because it's going to be coming to Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's coming to Netflix. I watched it at Steve's because he had the screener. But another movie, a Fantastic Fest movie that your viewers can watch right now is Apostle, which I reviewed for Bloody Disgusting, and I really liked it.
I have not had it because I really wanted to. I like Gareth Evans a lot, the guy that directed it, and I fortunately did not catch it at the festival. And I haven't had a chance because I want to sit down and watch it, like really sit down and watch it. And I haven't had things have been so hectic. I haven't had a chance to just sit down and watch it.
It's a long movie too. It's a long ass movie, and it's surprisingly, it's like I would say it's actually more of a drama than a straight up horror. I will watch that actor in anything. I'm such a Legion fan. He's my boyfriend, and I love him, and I want to support him.
Same. No, that's the main reason why I want to see it, even though that movie looks like it's going to give me nightmares. 100%. By the way, did you happen to watch a movie with Steve called One Cut of the Dead? It was a Japanese zombie movie.
Yes.
What did you think?
Okay, so
You're gonna break my heart. You're gonna break my heart.
I had so much fun watching it.
Oh, thank God.
I was surprised because it's so much more wholesome than I thought it was gonna be. I think because we set it up with Cam, and then he was like, it's a zombie movie, and I was very like the whole time I was expecting it to go dark, and it didn't.
No.
It's just a very wholesome, fun movie that is really not about anything, and I liked it.
I
did
really
like it.
It was a standout for me. He didn't get you haven't watched it yet.
No, and I do have the screener too, so I should.
You should watch it soon. But that was one of my big takeaways, like that and The Night Comes for Us and Halloween. Those are some big ones because One Cut of the Dead, that theater was having a blast because it was such a confusing movie to watch at first because it changes so. Because you don't know what the movie's about, and you're right, the movie is kind of about nothing.
Nothing at all.
Until you figure out what it is about, and then that's pretty late in the movie.
But yeah, even once you catch on as to what is happening, you know what the end of the movie is. And so, like, that was maybe my one criticism of it is, like, you know exactly where it ends up. And so sometimes watching it get there is fun. I know Owen was really complaining about it a lot, which whatever.
I talked to Will about it because he saw it too, and I was like, and he didn't. He and Owen were being crotchety about it. I was like, nah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Hey,
I enjoy the movie.
You know what? That's why I love Owen.
Yeah, that's why we love them. But that's a fun transition. Let's talk about some Halloween traditions because we hit up our Discord.
Yes.
And this is an episode to celebrate all of the spookiness around this time of year. What are some of your guys' favorite Halloween traditions that you have growing up or currently, or like a movie that you always go back to? Because Nightmare Before Christmas is a staple for Halloween and Christmas for my family. We will always watch it, and we haven't been able to sync up this year, so it's kind of been like privately. It's like we watch it, this family watches it, this person watches it, but that's something we always have to do.
Real quick, before we dive into that, I'd like to do a quick shout out to something Sam and I have been doing. We just relaunched Super TV Showdown.
Yes. On Thursdays, 4 p.m. PST over at twitch.tv/playnoggin, you can actually join us live. Now, normally this is a Patreon exclusive show, but we've actually totally turned it on its head. All right, we're reinventing it. So from 4 to 5, you can actually join us for a little portion of Super TV Showdown. And so far, that's been a blast. It's been so cool that new people who haven't been able to watch that show before are joining us, and they're finding out about new shows they should check out. But following that, 5 to 6, you can join us on patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. For $15, you can watch live, or for $5, you can get a full edited version of Super TV Showdown. All the shows we're watching. Dang near everything. And,
and this week part of the exclusive part of the exclusive content is we did a full spoiler review of season 3 of Daredevil.
Yes.
But like this week, the Patreon's where you would have caught us talking about Flash, and it's always going to kind of change up each week. So you can join us live on twitch.tv/playnoggin, and for the whole show, you can join us on Patreon. You can also join us Wednesdays on twitch.tv/playnoggin for the OSA show, where we're talking about all the stuff we're into that week. And if you're part of Patreon, you're watching this podcast live right now.
Yeah. There's so many goodies, so go check out Patreon. Yes, Wednesdays, you're getting all your nerdy news, all you're into, and you're getting some gaming as well. And don't worry, the reruns for that will be on Patreon. We uploaded this week's just today, so go and watch it, have fun. Tell us other things you'd like to see on that show. But please check it out Wednesdays 4 p.m, Thursdays 4 p.m, and all the other goodies over at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers.
You guys are so good at that.
Thank you. We've been practicing. I practice on my way over here.
I want to point at Julie Layden, who complimented my nice t-shirt. And I just wanted to give a little shout out to Matt Bailey, who is the artist of this spooky with a booty shirt.
Nice.
He does a tarot deck that is fantastic
That's
and has a lot of
awesome.
really cool art. So check him out.
So if you wanted to know more about that, you should be watching this show live on Patreon.
Ooh, little tease.
You want to see that shirt? So yeah.
Also, shout out to Julie because she's watching this live from Scotland right now, and she's the best.
And Julie's a big fan of the show. We love Julie over here. So Halloween time, spooky October fest.
What do you do?
What do I do? Well, actually, it's interesting.
Oktoberfest, yes.
On our Discord chat, you posted a thing about people's traditions, and Catalix said, I'm always celebrating my birthday the week of Halloween. That probably doesn't apply to anyone else. When I was growing up, my birthday's in early November, but we'd always do my birthdays around Halloween time, and my dad would make these little like mazes. I guess the closest thing you'd compare it to now would be escape rooms, because that's a big thing now. But like when I was a little guy, the first one I think was Mighty Max. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I was really into that. So we did a homemade Mighty Max costume, and my dad built this like in the garage, built this like mummy maze. and stuff like that. One year was the year Batman Forever came out, and he built the Batcave in the garage.
Really?
Yeah. One year was Men in
cool.
Black, and so the whole garage was like an alien spaceship. So we did that around, and then as I got older, it kind of became murder mysteries and stuff like that. But we always did fun stuff for my birthday around Halloween time.
Oh, nice. We have a phone call coming in.
Yeah, we have.
Cadillacs, I don't understand that comment by Cadillacs. Does she think that she's the only one born on Halloween?
Possibly.
Because I have a guarantee, friend, there's probably a lot of you out there.
Yeah, you could come together, do a big thing together, call your friends up, make a friend. Someone's really trying to get a hold of you right now. But no, during Halloween when I was a kid, there was, so where I lived, it was it was kind of up on a hill a little bit. The house that was below us on the hill, we could look into their backyard. They would always like rent a bunch of storage containers and put it on their driveway and turn it into a giant haunted house. Like they'd always get more and more crazy with it. And the way you'd get in is if you would like donate like food, and then you could come in to like to the haunted house, which we watch. If you want to watch a Halloween documentary, check out Haunters on Netflix.
Yes, highly recommend. Is it on Netflix or Amazon Prime?
It's on. It could be on both, but definitely on Netflix.
Nice.
But that's a great one for the origin of haunted houses and also how fucked up they are now. But when I was a kid, doing that was really cool, and it was always fun trick or treating with actually my now girlfriend, because we've known each other for a long time. Because she's so into dressing up, she loves it.
Yeah.
That one year, maybe I'll post it on my Instagram or something. But one year we did all the Clue characters, and that was really fun. I was Colonel Mustard.
I could have guessed that.
Thank you. I think I have the body type for it. I really want one of those.
Yeah, one of those mustard
bodies. It's a thick boy. That's important. But also like horror movies were a big part of like my dad loves horror movies, and he would always. Whenever my mom was traveling for work, it would be like, and now we're watching this. And it's like, never, it'd always be like, cover when it's too violent, and then we'll watch it, then we can keep going. But from a very young age, I've been watching scary movies. I don't want to say I'm like a bad boy, but like, I think I got, I
don't want people to think I'm one of the cool kids or whatever, but I definitely watched horror movies as a young.
And I definitely cried. My dad's like, it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay, you're ruining the movie. You need to shut up. You need to shut up right now.
I know you're upset, but a really cool moment's coming up. I don't want you to ruin it. But Whitney, what are some of the things you did growing up?
My Halloween tradition is I usually like to find a nice drifter. And I take them, I say, hello, sir, would you like some food and a shower? And I invite them into my home. And I give them a shower, and I cook a nice meal for them, and I say, would you like a glass of wine? And here's where I poison them. And I like to kill drifters on Halloween. I actually don't have any. So the thing is I'm such a...
There's many police out there who are listening.
I don't have any real Halloween traditions because my Halloween usually surrounds just trying to get whoever I can into my, like... world of horrors where it's like, oh, like, because I'm down literally whenever to do a horror movie marathon or like, you know, carve pumpkins as soon as they're available at Vaughn's. And so I feel like the big thing for me is making sure I have a good costume, because a big part of Halloween for me is getting drunk in a costume.
It's very important.
Yeah, I like all of that stuff. I will say, speaking on haunted houses, I had a best friend growing up named Persia, and she had about, I think, 8 siblings, and they were all super, super into horror movies. And so their house would be the house to go to their haunted house, where they had a big backyard, and they basically constructed a giant maze that had these sort of dioramas of all the horror movies that came out that year, and they would all act in it. And she was my best friend growing up, and I went into it twice out of like 8 years of doing it because I was so scared. They did a great job. They would go to like the local butcher and get like a pig's head to like mount. Like they went all in, and it was a whole family thing. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
That's dope. Well, speaking of, you said dressing up in costume. Do you guys have a favorite costume you've done for Halloween?
There's big ones I've done. I did World's Most Giant Doctor. I'll say that slower. World's Most Giant Doctor.
Yeah, that's Scrubs reference.
From Scrubs. And I got to wear stilts to school, and they were those jumping stilts. Have you ever seen those where they have like the curved back?
Yeah, I'm sure the teachers were so excited when you came in with those stilts.
I sat down on the desks because I couldn't get low enough, and I didn't want to keep taking them off. Hey, I was the quiet kid, like, I guess he'll be happy today, so let him walk around in those things and like smacking my head on stuff. I was the tallest kid at school that day, so that was really cool. And there was one kid who was like, he was like 6'11". Like he's a very tall boy, and it was he's like, I've never had to look up at anyone. I'm like, yeah, this is super weird to see the top of your head, man.
It's scary when you're used to seeing above people and you have to look up to somebody. It's a weird experience.
That was a fun one. Growing up, I was a Big Mac one year. I was Polywhirl one year. I think what were some other costumes I had? Sometimes I just got lazy. Was there a good one from high school? I'm blanking. Whitney, what about you?
I think the first costume that I made that I was really proud of was 8 years ago when I first moved to LA, and I was a raider from Fallout.
Nice.
And this was before Fallout 4 came out, I think, like, or maybe before 4 came out. So yeah, I made a Pit Boy out of like a gum wrapper, and you know, like the ones that you punch out.
Yeah.
And I was very proud of it.
Now you can buy one for like $500.
I have one.
Nice.
And last year, so this is not necessarily like a cool idea for a costume, but I think the execution was really great. I went to a rave with my buddy, and I'm not very into like all the EDM stuff, but like I'm a girl that likes to drink and dance, so it suits me fine.
Yeah.
And we were an angel and a devil, which is the most like basic ass costume you can make. But the way I did it, I like got this custom harness made, and I glued fairy lights. I made this big crown out of zip ties, and I made it all light up, and that was fun.
Nice.
That's rad.
Very excited about my Halloween costume this year, which after I leave you guys, I'm probably going to continue constructing. I'm going to be the hormone monstrous from Big Mouth.
Nice.
I'm very
So
excited.
is it like all the hair and stuff, or is it kind of toned down a
I
little
have
bit?
a wig. I have. I'm trying to make hoof boots. I'm making the horns. The horns have been like the hardest part.
Yeah.
I think that those are easy to find, but
Crafting foam, or what are you
I
doing?
am making. I did one set out of floral foam that I carved, and one set out of Model Magic. So I'm just gonna see what works. I'm also going to be putting in contacts for the first time in my life.
Oh,
There you go.
give
So-
yourself about 45 minutes for that. It's
Okay.
pretty,
Any
you gotta
recommendations?
grab upper eyelid and lower eyelid,
I hate
and
all
then
of
put
that.
it in.
I hate all of it.
Wait,
Stressing me out
what
just
do you
talking
put it
about
in
it.
Oh, sorry. Pull it with your middle fingers, and
No.
then put the contact on your pointer, and then put it in.
Oh,
This
that
looks like a straight nightmare.
That's
to
what
me.
I do. A lot of adults are like, or adults, they're like, oh, this is how grown-ups do it. They do it with one hand and do it like that. I'm like, nah, I'm still like, my eye wants to close. So you pull it open. It takes a while, and then when you just keep blinking until they like get into place. Where did you get yours?
I actually had a friend buy them for me because I have not been to the optometrist ever, and probably
out.
should get my eyes checked eventually.
Yeah.
But there's a cosplay contact website called Pinky Paradise, and I got the
Rad.
cool the big lenses that make your eyes look really cute.
Wait, so is this like, are they like, what's the name for that? Sclera? Are they like?
No, they're not like the whole ones.
Good. Okay, because I'm like, I don't think you can put those in by yourself. They're way too big.
I had those put in me once for a music video, and I did fine. It was, the only thing is that it like really does darken your vision, and so when I took them out, I was like squinting all day because I just couldn't deal with it. But if I can handle that, maybe I can do regular ones.
Yeah, you'll
Your
probably be
eyes
fine.
heavy.
I do like I like hearing about people really going out for costumes because I want to do. Whenever I do a costume, I want to like make it, and it's just the problem is rarely do I have time around October, which really bums me out. You know what I mean? A couple good ones when I was coming up. A lot of my best ones were when my dad was able to help me. So one year I did the Power Rangers had like ninja costumes like from the movie,
Cool.
and so I did the White Ranger, and I had the symbol lit up on my chest, and all the adults thought I was an astronaut. That was fun. But as an adult, I did Green Hornet one year, and that was fun. And I did Max from Mad Max, which was fun. I think we that's when we went to LA Comic Con for that superhero show, whichever one that one.
Oh
was.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know when I was growing up, my little brother wanted to be Godzilla, so it was probably a year after the 1990 the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie came out. So he had
classic.
He had that costume, but he was absolutely terrified of the mask, and so he just walked around, and it fully so the suit part ends right where your face starts. So
Yeah.
he just walked around as like this little child with like a full Godzilla costume on, and he would carry it to show people what it was, but he couldn't like look at it because he would start crying. It was
That's so
it's one of my
cute.
favorite memories of like growing up because it was just so silly. And it was so silly that he was so scared of it. But I always have like these like big ideas for what I want to do for Halloween. Even simple ones like this year, mine would have been just a pantsuit. And like I ran out of time. Like this week is just so flippin' busy, and that bums me out. I wanted to be the chair model from The Office because I'm going to a party that's themed Dearly Departed, so it would have been perfect. In the sense that no one could guess what that is at all.
It's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut. Like I did Bird Up one year at Comic-Con, and everyone's like, "You're Green Man, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's it. That's it." Like I'm not gonna explain more. It's like there's no reason for me to correct you on this because they're both obscure TV shows. Yeah. But I do love morph suits. Those are very fun to wear.
Yes.
I have
Sam's a big morph suit fan.
I did Slender Man one year, and that was really fun. And I think I did a Jack Skellington, and that was fun. Ooh. And I put sticks in like straws, something that I found around the house in the fingies to make them look more bony and longer. That was pretty fun.
Dude, do you know about the Slender Man /fic that is bonking around on the internet?
Go on.
So I recently, since Comic-Con, I've gotten way into this podcast called Last Podcast on the Left.
I've heard great things.
It's fantastic, super well researched true crime and paranormal stuff as told by 3 comedians, so they kind of break up all the murder with some levity. Okay. And they occasionally do creepypasta reads. And the Slender Man one, there's an entire subculture of Slender Man erotic fan fiction.
There's erotic fan fiction for everything.
It's true.
It's interesting.
Office.
It's interesting.
The Office, yes, there
but
is.
see, The Office is real people. It's whenever you get to the
when you get to what Whitney has sent me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say because some
people.
of it's like the dinosaurs and stuff, and it's like what's happening even. You know?
Yeah, Steve showed us the dinosaur porn.
Yeah,
the pterodactyl porn.
I remember that circulating.
Boy, howdy.
That's spooky.
Boy, that's the real scary thing.
If you want something real spooky this Halloween.
Hey, have you guys been watching Haunting of Hill House?
I've seen my roommates watching it, and I watched the ad, and I'll be honest, the trailer didn't do anything for me, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it, and me and my wife like watching that scary stuff. So I think that's gonna be our jam.
Mike Flanagan is a fantastic director.
He did Hush, right?
Yeah,
and Oculus.
Yeah, I think he did Oculus.
Okay.
I love that movie. So it's so interesting to me because the first couple episodes, it's very like spooky. Like they know what they're doing. It's fun, and then it just hits you like a ton of bricks. Like it's gonna hurt your feelings. It's gonna bum you out.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like it's a non-spoilery Easter egg.
Go on.
Also, try to find all the haunted ghosts because there's hella haunted ghosts,
hidden
ghosts.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I saw an article talking about how there's like ghosts hidden in a bunch of scenes.
Each of the Crane children is supposed to represent one of the 5 stages of grief.
Oh, cool.
And so view that with that in mind and see who you can pinpoint it. It's a very well acted show, and it is so spooky.
I'm excited.
That's great.
I need something scary. And
it's a good
like
time of year to watch that stuff.
I saw my roommates watching. So Netflix put out Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah.
And then Hulu put out Light as a Feather, which is it's like it's the teen horror movie, but it's an episodic over 10 episodes and they're 20 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
Oh.
Boy, that looked real dumb. But my roommates loved it, so I can't really judge. Also, I have to watch this year. I have to watch Happy Death Day because it came out last year.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, it's trash. Like it is, but it cool. knows it's trash, and so it has a lot of fun. Like the whole point of the movie is that it's really fun while there's a spooky thing happening, but the movie doesn't even take it seriously. So if you can just like go in and like just watch this fun concept of Groundhog Day, but it's murder, and you're just trying to stop your murder over and over again, you really have like imagine not being a detective and just trying to figure out who a random person is that is going after you and what the connection is to you.
Sounds great.
And there's no like closure of why everything's happening. It's just like you have to just figure out what the murder is.
Closure's overrated. Yeah. I don't like it when movies have to spell everything out for you. You can leave some stuff unknown. Like Hereditary is a great example. It does that. Like I had so many questions and I was so cool with it. I fucking love that movie.
Same.
Did you feel physically ill after the film? Because I did. Even though I loved it.
To be honest, that was the first movie I've seen in a long time that kept me up at night.
Yeah.
I lost sleep over that movie.
Yeah,
and I watched it recently for the first time.
Yeah, I was thinking about scary movies this year, and I think of the scary movies I've seen this year, that one affected me the most. And I think maybe because like we're grown-ups and stuff, it's like the movies that touch on some sort of existential dread just sit with you a lot more. Like, oh yeah, Michael Myers is scary, but like Hereditary, it's like, god damn, man. Like,
but also this for you listening, subscribe to the Patreon so you can see this.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
See,
it was good.
See, if you're just listening, you don't know. You have to go check it out on Patreon. But yeah, I like stuff.
That damn thud. That damn thud after.
Oh,
yeah.
Sickening. Gross.
I agree. If you like scary movies, if you're a grown-up person and you like scary movies, I recommend Hereditary. If you just want a fun slasher, maybe check out Halloween.
Or Happy Death Day.
Or Happy Death Day.
You know what I watched recently that was at Fantastic Fest when we went? Was Autopsy of Jane Doe, and I loved it.
I haven't heard about that one.
That was they had a big display that year when it was like 2 years ago.
2 years
when
ago,
we went. And it is called The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and it is a real spooky. It is a good movie.
If I wanted to watch it, where could I find it?
I believe that you can rent it on Amazon or Showtime.
Great.
One of those.
Yeah. That's great.
Speaking of traditions, Julie Layden in the chat's writing, I'm going to be getting drunk as the 13th Doctor tomorrow, and I'm so pumped. Did a try-on tonight, and it looks so sweet. That's awesome. The 13th Doctor, by the way, we should do an episode when Doctor Who ends and talk about it.
About this season?
Yeah.
I need to catch up. I'm a couple episodes behind because things have been hectic.
It's been real hectic.
But I'm excited to catch up with it. We've got some other in the Discord people talk about other traditions. Lizzie McBride said favorite Halloween movie series is Nightmare on Elm Street. I have a tradition of the whole month of October. I watch 3 horror movies a day.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if they are horrible or not. I watch all of them.
3?
That's
half a day.
Check out this Davey Backward Dab. Fun reference. His tradition is week 1 is slashers, week 2 is 80s and 90s flicks. Not even horror movies, just movies from the 80s and 90s. They're so scary. Week 3 zombies, week 4 is Stephen King, and then Halloween day is Halloween all day. His favorite movie is either The Exorcist or Saw. He says the first and only one. Do you guys have a favorite horror movie off the top of your head? I do, actually.
Yeah? Go for it.
The Thing. I think The Thing is my favorite scary movie because, one, I'm a John Carpenter fan, and it's just it's like a lot of my favorite scary movies. It gets me real because it's fun scary movie, but then when you think about it, you're like, it's such a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's such a good movie.
It's such a nightmare. So I think that's my favorite scary movie.
Scary movie. Happy Death Day. Honestly,
really keeps you up at night.
It really keeps me. It's just a little too scary for me.
Also, for fun scary movies, I actually think the Conjuring movies are actually
yeah.
really good.
That and the first Insidious do a really good. I mean, it's James Wan. Like, he does a really good job of like building suspense and like as a. Oh man, I watched Insidious like 15 times when it came, like not when it came out in like DVD, just because we had so many movie nights and everyone was like, wait, I haven't seen that, and everyone in the room was like, oh, we can watch that, that's super cool. And we would watch that so many times. Now I watched it again recently, and I'm like, oh, there's better stuff now, but when it came out, it was super cool, and it was in high school, so the first Insidious was really special to me, and the first Conjuring was a good surprise because I was like, again, the trailer was like, Like, it didn't really get me. And then I went and watched it, and I was like, you know what? This is dope. This is really, really good. And the way that it was structured, I liked the way it felt like Ghostbusters, but take out all the fun and the gadgets and everything. But it is paranormal investigators who were real. And, like, we're trying to help this family out, and it was really cool. And Conjuring 2 does hold up. That's a good one. And Annabelle prequel, which is a prequel to the prequel.
Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, that's
really
a super
good.
solid one. James Wan's got some good horror flicks.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. What about you? Do you got a favy?
I've got some deep cuts, some like lesser known ones that I would love to share because it's so hard to pick a favorite, but I want to use my time to suggest ones that maybe people haven't seen.
I love it. Please do.
Coherence is a fantastic sci-fi thriller that isn't maybe a straight up horror, but it's just such a fantastic, it's like a long Twilight Zone episode.
Very cool.
Really, really great about alternate realities.
Coherence?
Coherence. Okay. I love the movie The Sacrament. If you're into
that's
stuff.
Ty West. Yeah.
It's essentially it's Jonestown as told through the lens of a Vice documentary.
Yeah.
So sort of like a modern one, and it is deeply unsettling.
Yes.
And if you like cult shit, it's just fantastic. What is the Korean monster movie that came out?
The Host.
The Host is the one that I was just thinking about. It's so good. And then way back when, I loved the first Rec movie.
Oh
yeah. What are they called here?
Quarantine.
Mm.
Bad movies.
I'll be honest,
Just watch.
the first Quarantine I did like a lot. Rewatching it after when it came on like Blockbuster on demand,
Yeah.
when it was trying to survive and it didn't. I rented it again and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, Rec is fantastic. Rec holds up. It's
Yeah.
a great movie. Yeah.
We watched Human Centipede. Remember that?
Oh my lord.
Yeah,
I
that
tried
one's
to forget.
rough.
I kind of repressed that one. You know, I'm not like I respected that they just they took it as far as they could with that movie. I don't usually go for that kind of like gross out stuff though. You know,
It seems a little cheap sometimes, but you're right. They did go for it, so you can.
They sure did.
They sure
Yeah.
did.
They sure
They
did.
sure did. But actually, bring that up. That made me think about the weird like rabbit hole I'd go down with weird Netflix movies, like the weird ones they pick up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Cube 2.
What
Cube
is
2.
that?
Cube is a Canadian horror movie.
Cube, yeah.
And then Cube
Oh
2
my
Hypercube.
God, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a real piece of shit.
Oh,
But
wow.
really made me uncomfortable. Like really made me upset. Like Hypercube was like they had like time travel and alternate timelines and all this other shit that made the movie make zero goddamn sense. Like, but then it gets like you get uncomfortable. Like you get uncomfortable with like they just same thing. They throw everything at the wall, and then the stuff that stuck was this like gross body horror, torture porn, and I'm like, not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not feeling it at all.
Also, if you want to go super old school, I recommend the original Frankenstein, black and white.
so
Boris
good.
Karloff.
And Young Frankenstein.
There you go. And Young Frankenstein.
I
So
was
Palate cleanser.
I was supposed
Exactly.
to go see that at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery,
yeah,
and
it really that and the original King Kong are really hold up. It's like, why do we even bother remaking these? These are still really good movies.
We have a comment here from you have
Real quick before we do that, let's one last little update to you all out there. We just wanted, in case you missed it last time, we're putting Hard to Say Goodbye on hiatus. For all those listeners out there, we really appreciated your support on that. But with Super TV coming back and just everything else that was going on, we're gonna put that on hiatus. It might come back once we know more about what the next season of Game of Thrones looks like.
But you can find all the episodes we recorded over on patreon.com/hardtosaygoodbye.
Yes.
But at the end of the month, there's not gonna be any more. So
Yeah,
make
so
sure you
there's
get 'em
feel
all.
free to leave that Patreon. Maybe come to, if you're not on the Only Stupid Answer Patreon, maybe come to that for all the content we're doing over there.
And the bridge tier, it's gonna have some cool stuff coming to it very soon. So hold on to that.
Yes.
Would you guys say it's hard to say goodbye to the show Hard to Say Goodbye? Or would you
Yes.
say it's very easy?
It was tough.
It's tough.
To say goodbye.
Actually, there were a lot of conversations we had specifically about that joke, but also moving on from that show. But I really like what we're doing right now, and I think it's tune in on Wednesdays and Thursdays over at twitch.tv/playnoggin.
There you go.
Yeah, because we're having fun over there. But yeah.
But going on, Thea631, they're talking about favorite Halloween traditions and movies and whatnot. Yes, Halloween Town is great, as is Hocus Pocus.
We got a lot of Halloween Town in the Discord.
Yeah.
A lot of Halloween Town
I
fans
had to
in there.
look up what Halloween Town actually was
Which
about.
for me,
Oh,
Halloween
what?
Town is out of was for those that came after me. Hocus Pocus is right in my wheelhouse. I love that movie as a
yeah.
kid.
But I just didn't remember. Also, Goosebumps scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like the show, even though rewatching it, it's big garbage. But
I
like,
am shocked that nobody has brought back Are You Afraid of the Dark?
They are.
They are?
Yeah.
Why not? Like,
Yeah,
it's the
happening.
perfect time to do it.
Let me pull up who it is because I covered this on Bloody Disgusting.
Yeah, they 100%
I think it's going to
should.
be a movie, actually.
That
Oh,
doesn't make sense
cool.
to me, but like I guess maybe if it's an anthology movie like the Twilight Zone movie.
maybe.
But bring back that as a show because it feels like 100% the right time to do that.
I would be on board also since I didn't watch it as a kid because my older siblings wouldn't let me. They're like, no,
yeah.
this is for us.
Let me tell you a little bit about the Are You Afraid of the Dark film that is coming in
Okay.
2019. Stephen King's It screenwriter, what is his name? He is the one that is writing it.
Okay.
And I remember that he said it is not going to be an anthology, but it will follow the Midnight Society or whatever they called themselves and their stories. I'm very excited. I loved it. And I thought that it was a great movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be, we'll see. We'll see
Okay.
what
All
happens.
right.
I enjoyed it as well, and he did a good job of taking a lot of stuff lots of like 2,000 pages of story and boiling it down to stuff that
I mean,
makes
once
sense.
you get rid of all the child fucking, it's pretty.
Hey, listen, you don't know. It might show up in the sequel. You know, we don't know.
Sweet Christ.
We don't know.
We did see them get out of there, so
flashbacks, man. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. For those holding out for that.
I hope no one's dying on that.
Yeah, actually, if you're holding out for that, maybe you should go talk to somebody.
Yeah. But we have another comment here from Kayla Marie 033.
Yeah.
I'm not a big scary movie girl, as I always go with Hocus Pocus, and my family always watches It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, together because we love the Peanuts. I live in a huge neighborhood too, and so many kids come to trick or treat here. I love watching all the kids run around. It's always fun. Like now that people come by for trick or treating, I go up to where because my sister has kids now, and so like it's always fun seeing like what kind of costumes they dress up as, and they do like family costumes too, which is super cute. And I love seeing them like go house to house and be like, trick or treat, thank you so much, and like just seeing how like nervous they are and like how excited they are about getting candy and like filling their pillowcases and stuff. It's just nice. I like the suburban part of Halloween of them doing the trick or treating. It's really cool.
That's so sweet. I wish that I lived in a neighborhood that kids trick-or-treated at in little apartments.
Yeah, same. I wish I lived in a neighborhood where kids felt safe going around.
But
I sure don't.
Sometime soon. Maggie Whitmer actually has a fun comment that ties back to one of our friends. Maggie Whitmer, my favorite Halloween tradition is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the movie in 2011 and was Columbia that year for Halloween. I saw the live production for the first time in 2014. Then I was in the show the next 2 years. Last year, I saw two different productions, and this year I saw 4. I love doing the callbacks during the show. It wouldn't be Halloween without Rocky for me. I know we have a friend who's in the Rocky Horror Picture Show currently, which is so cool.
I am going to go see. Can I say it?
Yeah, of course. I think he's tweeting about it. So
I'm gonna go see Mr. Steve Zaragoza as Meatloaf's character. I don't remember what his name is.
I don't either.
But, you know, Steve can hit those high notes. It's actually a production that a lot of my friends put on. And when you mentioned Maggie, I thought you meant the director Maggie Levin, who is a friend of mine.
Nice.
But she directs her partner is in a band called Big Data, it's a very cool rock band, and they play along, so it's like basically going to going to a music rock show. You know, one of those music rock shows.
Yeah, you know, one of those.
They're up and coming.
The kids are talking all about it these days.
I am 80 years old.
No, I've always wanted to go to a live Rocky Horror show. And also, I watched that for the first time when I was a kid, and I had like one friend who was like way cooler than me, like in the terms of like art, like
we always need that one friend
to kind of like expose us to stuff that like normally. Our good Christian households wouldn't be talking about. And no, he showed me it, and he gave me, I don't think he even knew what we were going to watch, but he rented it from Blockbuster, and he brought it over, and I watched it, and I'm like...
Man, Blockbuster was a big part of you growing up.
Oh, yeah, super important. But watching it, I don't think I even grasped what the fuck was happening in that movie.
Very strange movie, and near the end it gets real boring. And,
it does, and super convoluted.
It's very, very strange.
The house is a ship.
Gosh, cross-dressing sure is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Nigel Thornberry. That's Nigel Thornberry.
That's your reference for Tim Curry?
No, but as a kid, I just watched it. I was like, I know that voice. Also, Butler from Clue.
Yeah,
that was
Tim Curry's such a treasure. And
I
Clue
didn't know
is a great
Tim
movie.
Curry was Nigel.
Yeah, he was Nigel Thornberry.
What?
Yeah.
Super English stereotype. He nailed
wild.
it.
Yeah.
Just speaking through all those big teeth and that gigantic schnoz on his face. Man, he's a treasure. And I did not watch the Rocky Horror Picture Fox TV show that they made with Vanessa.
Oh, no.
No, you're mixing up with Grease.
No, they did a TV show. Okay,
yeah, but Vanessa Hudgens was in Grease.
Who's Victorious? Victoria Justice.
Yeah.
With a V.
There you go.
The V.
The
Victoria
V.
Justice.
Remember the V.
Smashing. Thank you, David Rodriguez. Appreciate it. That's Davey Backwards Dab. He's got so many names.
And I think that's something really cool about Halloween, because we also had a comment from our pal Echo Spider, who likes to draw for Inktober. He likes to draw something for Inktober.
I'm seeing a bunch of artists I follow on Twitter like losing their minds over it.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I follow most of my Instagram as comic book artists, so Inktober is like a blast for me because just seeing all their talented work. But I think that's one of the appeals of October and Halloween and this holiday, because you range everything from like super scary movies like Hereditary down to just the fun, just the spooky, like I'm actually right now I'm wearing a Haunted Mansion shirt. Like that just kind of like
Boney Island.
Yeah.
Hereditary.
Exactly. And you're able to, no matter what, there's something for everybody to celebrate during this time. And I don't know. I think it's a really cool, rewarding month, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I have one tradition now
with
my nephews because they're young, but I showed them the Headless Cabbie episode of Hey Arnold, which was
spooky.
It scared the pants off of them, and they were like hiding. It was so cute. They were hiding underneath blankets, but as soon as we were done, I'm like, you guys are gonna be okay. Like, we're gonna be okay. We can watch this. And they're like, they were kind of getting scared, but they never said anything. They were like, we're good.
Yeah.
And as soon as it was over, they're like, can we watch it again? I'm like, oh, I forgot the kids watch things on repeat.
Yes.
Like, yeah, so we'll watch it again. And they still got scared, but they're like, but that's a dog over there. That's not the Headless Cabbie. I'm like, it's not. It's a dog.
So
yeah.
cute.
And he's like, and he's got his wooden shoes on. He's like, he's what is it? Tap dancing on the cobblestone. That's why it's scary. And like, it was so cute seeing them like be brave. Also, Danny Phantom they started watching, and they're like, and there's some scary stuff in that. Danny Phantom, yo, Danny. I know the whole rap, by the way. I know the whole rap.
I do know that.
You do know that because we did this watch along series for Danny ran Iron Fist, and every time Danny's name came up, I just had to sing the whole thing.
Danny Tantrum.
Danny Tantrum.
Yeah.
That's why. Danny.
You know, the scariest Nicktoon experience I ever had was actually Rocko's Modern Life when I was a kid. Because there's a kind of actually, but there's an episode where Heifer goes to hell.
I forgot this
yeah.
And when
he chokes on a chicken bone.
Yeah, and when the whatever, I think it's the Grim Reaper. I don't think it's the devil. When he's like, "You're going to be here forever." That was the first time my little brain was like, "Forever, huh? Death is forever."
The concept of eternity. Huh. Damn.
That's cool. That
and I've never quite recovered from that. I've never quite recovered from that moment of like, forever. This is something I'm going to dwell on an inordinate amount of time.
Whenever you're at a funeral, Rocko's Modern Life just
comes
pops
in.
up
It's like,
your brain.
That person's never coming back. All right.
Thanks, Rocko.
Yeah.
The cartoon that scared me the most as a kid, not even just talking Halloween episodes, but Courage the Cowardly Dog scared me all the time.
Because there's no like continuity. Like at the end of an episode, like they'll like something will be permanent for whatever that episode is. Like one time, like I think like the grandpa got eaten. And, like, that was just the end of the episode. Like, he's dead. Like, that was it. But he was back the next episode. And I was like, wait, I don't understand.
There's nothing that anchors you to reality in that show, which makes it a very trippy experience and spooky for children.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember the one that always freaked me out was that he'd always go to his computer and search, like, to figure it out. But one time the computer, like, comes to life and, like, tries to, like, drown the grandma in the tub or something. And I'm like, how'd they pitch this show? How'd they get this past everyone at Cartoon Network? Cartoon Network was always like the weirder shows.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon had its weird stuff, but Cartoon Network was always like a little bit more heightened. Yeah. And so they could get away with more stuff. Surprising.
Yeah, cartoons were really not afraid to scare us back then. I feel like that's a big. In fact, the guy that wrote the screenplay to It, I'm forgetting his name. He went on record saying he was like, I think it's good to scare kids. I think that, we all turned out great. We liked horror as kids, and we don't want to coddle them. We want to spook them a little bit.
And a tangential thought. I think that's something that like makes Pixar movies stand out because they don't talk down to children. They tackle heavy stuff. Like they deal with stuff.
Coco's real dark.
Yeah, Coco's dark. The beginning of Up. You know what I mean? Like and it's just I think a lot of the stuff in Incredibles is actually really frank about like, hey, this is actually super dangerous.
Oh yeah.
I think it's why it sticks with kids. A lot of fairy tales are super scary. You know what I mean?
There's this whole like rabbit hole I went down of like what fairy tales were like before like Disney started like editing them and changing them. And like while there are some they're really dark and they're really weird, but there are some genuinely like they're trying to teach you a good lesson. Like this one about like flirting with danger. It's like how like young kids, like if they're like really coddled, they're gonna want to like act out in certain ways, and it's like cool if you want to do that. This is what you just need to know that like the closer you get to the danger, the more it's going to consume you or hurt you or maybe kill you. Like you need to be. That's what Red Riding Hood is actually about. It's not, you don't get saved by the huntsman in the story of Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood dies.
Yeah.
And that's it. Grandma's dead.
Yeah.
She knows it's a wolf.
All of those stories are way darker.
Oh, yeah. So if you want a pretty tame and kind of weird Halloween, read Grimm's Fairy Tale.
Grimm's Fairy Tales. But yeah, that's the point of like a story. That's the reason story exists, man, to help you process stuff that might be a little bit too abstract or too big to deal with. And that's one of the benefits of horror movies in general. It's a safe space to process negative feelings or thoughts or whatever. So yeah,
Can I plug one more horror movie that I really enjoyed recently? Was the Netflix original movie The Ritual.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
If you like culty stuff, again, it's great. There's a very cool twist at the end, and I don't want to say anything else about it, but it's very, very good, and they do a lot of really cool creative shit with it. Also, also, Sabrina is coming out this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. You guys read that comic?
I did not, but I've heard good things from Hector Navarro.
It's so good. Hector's got great taste in comics. And Sabrina, The Chilling Tales of Sabrina is or Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic comic book. If you are put off a little bit by the idea that it's like going to be like the Melissa Joan Hart one.
Yeah, if you're looking for that.
100% it is not that. It is spooky.
Yeah,
spooky
and props
stuff.
to Archie Comics for being willing to shake up their brand a little bit with Riverdale and Sabrina. And also, actually, speaking of scary stuff, they actually do a lot of really Afterlife with Archie as a horror comic.
Oh, yeah. They just do whatever
Jughead
the fuck
Hunger.
they want.
Yeah,
Archie, I feel like that's what's cool about having a property that's been around for as long as Archie Comics has, is they're like, yeah, Archie's gonna die saving his gay friend now. Or like, yeah, Archie, like Sabrina's now super into Satan. Like they just don't give a fuck, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So there's a ton of stuff for people to check out for what you're into. Actually, let us know on the Discord or in the chat or wherever you can what horror stuff you're excited about this Halloween.
What you guys get up to this Halloween. Let us know if you get fun parties, fun stories. We like sharing.
And
you guys
maybe
are
invite
cool
us
over there.
maybe if you're going to a cool party, maybe let us know.
Hey, we'll swing by. I mean, we'll bring some snacks.
I'll see if I'm free. And then maybe we'll...
But I got some snacks. I can bring some cookies or something. Ooh. Whitney, where can they find you?
You can find me at Tweet Me More.
Nice.
On Twitter. You can't change... I started it back when Twitter first happened, and I stuck with a pun, and now I have it forever.
It's a solid pun, though. To be fair, it is a solid pun.
Thank you so much. I'm at Whitney S. Moore on Instagram, and via those two things, you can catch up on all the projects I'm up to. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and it's all fun. Oh, I will actually plug, this is going to be part 2, but I am actually GMing on We Have Society, the show that I do on Wednesday nights.
Nice.
And it is a special spooky Halloween episode.
Rad. So
if you are looking for something to do, or if you're not feeling like hitting a party out, at 9 p.m. Twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry, I will be hosting a very satanic, very spooky episode, and I have a metal playlist that I have created to accompany it. Because we can't play it on the stream because that's not license free.
There you go. Don't get dinged, kids. DJ, where can they find you?
DJ Talks Trash every place that matters. And Wednesdays, Thursdays, basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're always streaming something. So
somewhere, twitch.tv/playnoggin or right here, patreon.com/
Only Stupid Answers.
Nice. I'm at Sam Basher, everywhere that matters. But guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.
There you go.
There it is.
That was a good one.
I had to use every little bit of breath I had.
Thank you, Danny. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, David, Julie, Droopy Dog. Thank you for everyone who joined. We're going to see you next time.
Bye-bye.